It is early morning in one of the coldest regions on Earth. The sky is still pale and the sun rises slowly over a landscape completely covered in white snow. The temperature outside is below -40 degrees Celsius. In this kind of cold, even simple tasks become difficult. Breathing the air feels sharp and any exposed skin can freeze in minutes. Yet in this frozen land, life continues every day. From a distance, a small town can be seen. Wooden houses stand quietly under thick layers of snow. What makes the town look alive is the thin smoke rising from chimneys. That smoke tells an important story. It is the sign that inside those homes, fires are burning and people are staying warm. Without heat, survival here would be impossible. Inside one of these houses, the day begins long before people step outside. The first thing anyone checks is the stove. The stove is the heart of the home. During the night, the fire burns slowly, but by morning it needs attention. A man walks toward the stove, opens the heavy metal door, and warm orange light spreads into the room. The air still feels cool, but the fire begins to grow stronger as fresh wood is added. Heating a home in Siberia is not just about comfort, it is about survival. Families must plan months ahead for winter. During the summer and autumn, people cut large amounts of firewood and store it carefully. A single household may need several tons of wood to survive one winter. Without preparation, winter can become dangerous very quickly. Outside, the cold is intense. Snow covers everything and the ground is frozen solid. A man steps outside carrying an axe. His breath becomes visible in the air instantly. He walks slowly through the deep snow toward a pile of logs. Each strike of the axe echoes in the quiet morning. Chopping wood in this temperature is hard work, but it is necessary. Every log means more warmth for the home. Back inside, the fire grows brighter. The stove begins to heat the room gradually. Frost that formed on the windows overnight slowly begins to melt. A kettle is placed on the stove and soon steam rises into the air. Warmth spreads across the small house, bringing comfort to everyone inside. Most homes in rural Siberia use wood stoves because wood is available and reliable. These stoves are built to burn slowly and efficiently. Some traditional Russian stoves are made of thick brick and can store heat for many hours. Even after the flames fade, the stove continues to release warmth into the room. Houses in these regions are also built differently. Walls are thicker, windows are double or triple layered, and doors are tightly sealed. Every detail is designed to prevent heat from escaping. Even small gaps can allow cold air to enter, so insulation is extremely important. In cities, heating systems are different. Large heating plants produce heat that travels through underground pipes into apartment buildings. Hot water flows through radiators, warming entire rooms. These systems operate constantly during winter. If they stop even for a short time, pipes can freeze and buildings can quickly become dangerously cold. But whether in villages or cities, heating requires constant attention. Fires must be checked regularly, wood must be stored properly, heating systems must be maintained. Life here depends on warmth. Morning continues inside the house. A woman prepares breakfast near the stove. The warm air fills the kitchen and the smell of hot tea spreads through the room. Outside, the world remains frozen, but inside, life feels normal and peaceful. Children wake up and prepare for school. They wear many layers of clothing before stepping outside. Jackets, hats, gloves, scarves, and heavy boots are necessary. Without proper clothing, even a short walk can be dangerous. As the children leave, the door opens briefly and cold air rushes inside. The difference between indoor warmth and outdoor cold is dramatic. The door closes quickly and the fire continues to burn, protecting the warmth of the home. Later in the day, more firewood is brought inside. This routine repeats every day. Heating a house in Siberia is not automatic. It requires daily work and careful planning. In some homes, coal is used instead of wood. Coal burns longer and produces more heat, but it must be handled carefully. Coal dust can be messy and storage requires special attention. Still, many families prefer coal because it reduces the number of times the stove must be refilled. Another challenge of winter is drying clothes. Snow and ice melt when brought indoors, leaving clothes wet. Many homes have ropes or racks near the stove where gloves, boots, and jackets can dry. This simple method is very effective because the heat from the stove slowly removes moisture. Animals also benefit from the warmth. Dogs and cats often sleep near stoves or heaters. The warmest place in the house is usually close to the fire, and everyone naturally gathers there. Evenings are a special time in Siberian homes. After the work of the day is finished, families sit together near the warmth. Tea is served, meals are shared, and conversations continue late into the night. Outside, the temperature drops even further, but inside, the home feels safe and comfortable. One of the most important habits is preparing the fire before sleep. Large logs are placed carefully so the fire will burn slowly through the night. If the fire goes out completely, the house can become very cold by morning. This nightly routine is part of life for millions of people in cold regions. During winter storms, heating becomes even more important. Strong winds and heavy snow can last for days. Roads may close and travel becomes difficult. During these times, families rely completely on the fuel they have stored. Preparation before winter is what makes survival possible. In larger towns, maintenance teams work constantly to keep heating systems running. Underground pipes carry hot water across long distances. These pipes are insulated and monitored carefully. Workers must check for leaks or damage even in extreme weather. Their work ensures that entire neighborhoods stay warm. Life in Siberia teaches patience and discipline. People learn to respect the power of nature. The cold cannot be defeated, but it can be managed with knowledge and preparation. Despite the harsh conditions, there is also beauty. Snow reflects sunlight, creating bright, sparkling landscapes. At night, the sky can be filled with stars, and sometimes the northern lights appear, dancing silently above the frozen land. Inside homes, warm light shines through windows, creating a feeling of comfort that contrasts with the cold outside. These simple moments remind people why warmth is so important. Heating is more than just a system here. It is part of daily life, part of culture, and part of survival. Every fire that burns represents preparation, effort, and care. As evening turns into night, the wind outside becomes stronger. Snow begins to fall again, covering roads and rooftops. Inside the house, the fire burns steadily. The family prepares for sleep, knowing that tomorrow will begin the same way, with the first task of checking the stove and keeping the warmth alive. And so, in one of the coldest places on Earth, life continues, one fire, one log, and one warm home at a time. As the winter season continues, heating a home in Siberia becomes more than just a daily routine. It becomes a system of planning, engineering, and constant attention. Surviving extreme cold is not only about lighting a fire. It is about understanding how heat moves, how buildings are designed, and how entire cities function in temperatures that can freeze metal and crack concrete. In many rural areas, the traditional wood stove is still the most trusted source of heat. These stoves are designed in a way that allows them to burn fuel slowly while storing heat in their thick walls. Some stoves are made from heavy steel, while others are built from brick or stone. Brick stoves are especially effective because they absorb heat from the fire and release it gradually over many hours. Even after the flames disappear, the warmth remains. People who use these stoves learn to control the fire carefully. The amount of air entering the stove determines how quickly the wood burns. Too much air makes the fire burn fast and waste fuel. Too little air can cause smoke to build up. Adjusting the vents becomes a skill that people learn from a young age. Firewood itself must be prepared properly. Freshly cut wood contains moisture and burns poorly, producing more smoke and less heat. That is why families cut and store wood months in advance. The logs are stacked in a way that allows air to pass between them, helping them dry before winter arrives. By the time the snow begins to fall, the wood is ready to burn efficiently. Transporting firewood during winter is another challenge. In deep snow, people often use sleds instead of carrying heavy loads by hand. Even short distances can feel long when the temperature is far below freezing. Every trip outside requires heavy clothing, and even then, people must limit the time they spend in the open air. Inside the house, heat is not distributed evenly unless the space is designed carefully. Many traditional homes are built with the stove located near the center of the house. This allows heat to spread more evenly into all rooms. Some houses have ventilation channels that guide warm air through walls or floors, improving efficiency. In modern buildings, central heating systems play a major role. These systems are part of a large network that connects entire neighborhoods. Huge heating plants burn fuel to heat water, and this hot water travels through underground pipes to homes and apartments. The pipes are insulated and often buried deep underground to protect them from freezing temperatures. These heating plants operate continuously throughout winter. Engineers and technicians monitor pressure, temperature, and flow rates every hour of the day. Even a small failure in the system could affect thousands of people. Maintenance teams are always ready to repair pipes, pumps, and valves, sometimes working in extremely harsh conditions to keep the system running. In apartment buildings, radiators are the most visible part of the heating system. Hot water flows through metal pipes and radiators, releasing heat into rooms. The warmth spreads gradually, and residents adjust the temperature by controlling valves on the radiators. Some apartments become so warm that people briefly open windows to balance the temperature. Another important factor in keeping homes warm is insulation. Without insulation, even the strongest heating system would struggle. Walls in cold regions often contain multiple layers of materials designed to trap heat. Windows are double or triple glazed, meaning they have multiple layers of glass with air or gas between them. This design reduces heat loss significantly. Doors are also designed to prevent cold air from entering. Many homes have two entrance doors, creating a small space between them. This acts like a barrier, stopping cold air from rushing directly into the living area. This simple design is very effective and commonly used in extremely cold climates. Roofs are built to handle heavy snow loads while also preventing heat from escaping. Snow itself acts as insulation, forming a protective layer over buildings. However, too much snow can become heavy, so people sometimes climb onto roofs to remove excess buildup and prevent damage. Heating systems must also deal with moisture. Warm indoor air contains moisture, and when it touches cold surfaces, condensation forms. Over time, this moisture can freeze and cause damage if not controlled. That is why ventilation is important even in very cold climates. Small ventilation openings allow fresh air to enter while still maintaining warmth inside. Fuel supply is another critical part of winter survival. Families carefully calculate how much wood or coal they will need for the entire season. Running out of fuel in the middle of winter can be dangerous. That is why storage sheds are often filled long before the first snowfall. Coal is sometimes used as an alternative to wood, especially in areas where wood is less available. Coal burns longer and produces more heat, but it requires special stoves and careful handling. The ash produced by coal must be removed regularly to keep the stove working properly. Electric heating is also used in some homes, but electricity alone is not always reliable in extreme cold. Many families prefer heating systems that do not depend entirely on power. A wood stove can continue to work even during a power outage, making it a trusted backup. Winter storms can test every heating system. Strong winds increase heat loss by pushing cold air against walls and windows. Heavy snowfall can block vents and chimneys if they are not maintained. During storms, families check their heating systems more frequently to ensure everything is working properly. Nighttime is often the coldest part of the day. Before going to sleep, people prepare the stove carefully. Larger logs are placed inside so the fire burns slowly through the night. Some people wake up once or twice during the night to add more fuel, especially during the coldest weeks of winter. Heating is not only about technology and fuel, it also affects daily routines and lifestyle. People arrange furniture to make the best use of warm areas. Drying racks are placed near stoves. Beds are positioned away from cold walls. Every small decision helps maintain comfort. Despite the effort required, many people who live in cold regions develop a strong sense of independence and resilience. They understand their environment and know how to adapt. Heating a home becomes second nature, just another part of daily life. There's also a sense of community in cold regions. Neighbors often help each other with heavy tasks like chopping wood or clearing snow. In remote villages, cooperation is essential because resources and support may be far away. As evening approaches, the sky turns dark early in winter. Warm light from windows contrasts with the deep blue of the frozen landscape outside. Inside homes, people gather near the warmth, sharing meals and stories. The fire crackles softly, and the sound becomes part of the quiet atmosphere of winter life. Looking outside at the frozen world, it becomes clear how important heat truly is. Without it, life here would stop completely. Heating systems, whether simple stoves or massive city networks, are what make human life possible in one of the harshest climates on Earth. And as the fire continues to burn and warmth fills the room, another long winter night begins, reminding everyone that survival in Siberia depends on preparation, knowledge, and the steady glow of heat. As winter continues in Siberia, people do not only fight the cold with fire and heating systems, they also fight it with routine, discipline, and experience. Life here is not rushed. Every task is done with planning because mistakes in extreme cold can have serious consequences. Morning always begins with checking the heat. Before breakfast, before going outside, before starting any work, the stove or heating system is inspected. If the fire is weak, more fuel is added. If ash has built up, it is cleaned. These small actions ensure the house stays warm throughout the day. For many families, winter is the longest season of the year. It can last 6 or 7 months. During this time, heating is not something people think about occasionally. It is something they think about every single day. the sound of firewood burning becomes a familiar background to daily life. Children who grow up in these regions learn from a young age how important warmth is. They watch their parents prepare firewood, adjust stoves, and maintain heating systems. Over time, these skills become natural. What may seem difficult to outsiders becomes normal to those who live here. Daily life continues inside warm homes while the world outside remains frozen. Meals are prepared slowly on stoves, filling rooms with warmth and steam. Wet clothes are dried near the fire. Boots, gloves, and jackets are placed carefully so they will be ready for the next trip outside. Even simple activities like drinking tea feel different in extreme winter. Holding a warm cup is not just comforting, it is a reminder of how important heat is to human life. Warmth becomes something people truly appreciate, not something taken for granted. Outside, the cold landscape looks silent and endless. Snow covers forests, roads, and rivers. The sun rises late and sets early, creating long nights. During these nights, heating becomes even more important. Fires burn steadily and families gather near the warmest part of the house. Many people spend evenings talking, reading, or listening to the quiet sound of the wind outside. The contrast between the freezing darkness outdoors and the warm glow indoors creates a feeling of safety and peace. In these moments, heat is not only physical, it is emotional. Winter storms are among the greatest challenges. Strong winds shake buildings and push snow against doors and windows. Visibility outside can disappear completely. During these storms, people stay indoors and rely entirely on their stored fuel and heating systems. Preparation before winter is what makes survival possible. People check roofs, seal windows, repair chimneys, and fill storage areas with wood or coal. These preparations may seem simple, but they are the difference between comfort and danger. In remote villages, heating is even more critical because help may be far away. Families depend on their own resources and skills. They know how to repair stoves, how to clear chimneys, and how to manage fuel carefully so it lasts until spring. But life in Siberia is not only about hardship. There's also beauty that few other places in the world can offer. On clear nights, the sky is filled with stars brighter than most people have ever seen. Sometimes the northern lights appear, moving slowly across the sky in green and purple waves. From inside a warm house, watching this frozen landscape through a window can be peaceful and unforgettable. Snow reflects moonlight, making the night glow softly. Chimney smoke rises quietly into the still air. Everything feels calm, almost silent. Heating also shapes the way homes are designed. Furniture is arranged to make the best use of warm spaces. Tables and chairs are often placed near stoves. Beds are positioned away from cold walls. Every part of the house is used carefully to conserve heat. In cities, life continues with the help of large heating networks. Workers in heating plants monitor equipment day and night. Engineers check pressure levels and temperatures constantly. Maintenance teams travel through snow and freezing wind to repair any problems. Their work keeps thousands of homes warm. Most people never see these workers, but their efforts are essential. Without them, entire neighborhoods could lose heat within hours. In extreme cold, that could be dangerous. Heating in Siberia is not just a household responsibility, it is also a community effort. As winter slowly moves toward its coldest weeks, temperatures sometimes fall below -50 degrees. At these temperatures, metal becomes brittle, fuel thickens, and machines struggle to operate. But inside homes, fires continue to burn, creating islands of warmth in a frozen world. Life adapts to the rhythm of winter. People move more slowly outdoors, conserving energy and avoiding unnecessary exposure to cold. Trips outside are planned carefully. Clothing is checked twice. Doors are opened only briefly to prevent heat loss. Inside, daily routines remain steady. Breakfast, work, meals, and rest all happen in the comfort of heated spaces. Children study, adults work, and families share time together. The warmth of the home becomes the center of life. Spring eventually arrives, but it does not come quickly. Snow melts slowly and temperatures rise gradually. When winter finally begins to fade, people feel a sense of relief and accomplishment. They have survived another season of extreme cold. Looking back, heating was the key to everything. Without it, daily life would not have been possible. The fires that burned every morning and every night were more than just flames. They were protection, comfort, and security. For those who live in Siberia, heat is not just a convenience. It is a necessity that shapes every part of life. From the design of buildings to the daily routines of families, everything is connected to the simple need to stay warm. And yet, despite the harsh conditions, people here have built lives filled with warmth, not only from fires and heaters, but from family, community, and resilience. The cold may be powerful, but human determination is stronger. As night falls once more over the snowy landscape, chimneys continue to release thin streams of smoke into the frozen air. Inside homes, fires burn steadily, casting a warm glow across quiet rooms. And in that glow, life continues, calm, patient, and enduring in one of the coldest places on Earth.